Yay, it's my fantasy football show. You should watch it.
Well, looky, guess who's back? I mean, and I say guess who's back, because, really, it's been me, but was last week really me? I was this close. I thought I had him. So one could forgive me for maybe not being fully myself. There I was, in the graveyard, thought I had it all figured out, and then, who did I run into? Oh, that's right, that buffoon. Next thing I know, blow dart to the next. I wake up, it's the following morning, there I am laying there, trying to piece this all together. So one can only imagine the state of mind I was in. If I didn't see myself, I think there's probably probable cause for that. However, I've had a little time to reflect, a little time to think, and now, not only do I think, no. I know that I am now this close, and I plan on finally meeting the Reaper.
Welcome, FTFL, to the Fantasy Graveyard Update. I'm your host, the Fantasy Reaper, waiting to see who will join me down here. We all float down here. I stole that line from a great friend of mine. Maybe you know who he is. This week, we saw one team who said he was out trading everybody, now staying back in and dominated in the southbound pachyderms. Manamana continues to roll. I don't know how he does it. He also said he was out earlier in the year. We have a bunch of middling teams fighting to see who's in, who's out, who wants to give up, who wants to stay alive. Cray-America lost once again to the worst team in the FTFL. Speaking of the worst teams in the FTFL, the Hulkamaniacs and the Pack Attack, both at 2-6, fighting to see who is going to pay for pizza this year. I don't know, I'm in suspense. Well, I'm glad to have you here with me down in the graveyard. Now, onto the games.
All right, but that's enough on that. Let's go ahead and get to the game. The Radioactive Monkeys, who last week really put a thumping on John, who had his worst performance of the season, were taking on this week the Valhalla, the winners of 3 in a row, Valhalla Vandals. And what did the Monkeys do to follow up their impressive victory? They had their lowest outpoint of the season. Peter, 79.5. Ooh, Salty picked a bad time to have a bad week. Or did you? Is maybe this a good time? Because it really doesn't hurt you all that much. 73.5 for Saltmarsh. If you are Peter, Amon-Ra St. Brown could not have showed up at any better time. 20 points from him. Hawkinson, 19.5. Run CMC, his touchdown streak ends. But because he gets the ball on every 2 out of 3 plays, he still had 11 points. Derek Carr, 2 points. Chuba Hubbard, 3 points. Keaton Mitchell, who he just picked up the waiver wire at 14.5. Now, Keaton Mitchell, big play potential. Do you play him? Do you not play him? I don't know. You had a lot of guys on bye this week. So did Saltmarsh. So really, this was the bye bowl. Wait, that's not a Taylor Swift. You know what? Never mind. If you're Saltmarsh, Bijan Robinson, and by the way, it's not Bijan Robinson, B. Robinson. Who the hell is B. Robinson on his team? Josh Dobbs had 18, Deontay Foreman had 13, and then somebody named B. Robinson. You know what? You can tell I'm a bit preoccupied. My brain is already on the way to see him, to meet him, to force his hand. But if you're Saltmarsh, 5 of your players had 3.5 or fewer points. Stephon Diggs, 3.5. He averaged 16 plus points, 8.5 points on the bench. This just wasn't Saltmarsh's week. Peter wins his 4th in a row and moves to 500. Next up, Team Dickweed coming off a very terrible loss last week at 7-2, taking on the Architect, whose buildings seem to be crumbling all around him at 4-5. Dickweed rallies 137, 132, 33.5, 7.5. I know the Pachyderm scored 37 to 96.5 for the Architect. Again, I apologize. I'm just, at this point, last week was discombobulation. This week, it's giddiness because it's finally going to happen. Oh, I can't wait. All right, if you're John, Justin Herbert, welcome back. Justin Herbert, 34 points. Keenan Allen, 30-1.5. Josh Myers, 21. Chris Olave, 15. Saquon Barkley, 4.5 points. He only has 2 double digits. Now, we talked last week about Tony Pollard briefly. In the same, only 2 double-digit outpoints. all season. I know you were expecting more of him. Now you're moving on to 8-2, and so maybe it doesn't matter, but I would like to think you would like all the points you could possibly get. Speaking of all the points, Matt did have a pretty good score this week. However, not enough. 18 points for C.J. Stroud, 17.5 for George Kittle, 17 for Rachaad White, 12 for Cortland Sutton, and what might be the catch of the season, and 10.5 for Jonathan Taylor. Matt falls to 4 and 6. Next up, everyone's favorite quitting bunch of winners. Mana, 4-time, Lucky Pants, breaking it under entitled thieving. I gave up, but I can't find a loss anymore. Champ Mana. Yay! Taking on the Mixin' Cocktails, who just can't find a win. Well, Team Horseshoe wins again, 94 to Andy, 80.5. If your marks are Dak Prescott blew the roof off it and buzzsawed Andy right to the ground, 42 points. Tyler Lockett, 16. The Colts defense, 16. Etienne, Hall, and Moss combined for 8.5. Now, they have been the engine to Jeff's big old choo-choo horseshoe train. However, not so much this week. However, he wins his 3rd in a row. Andy loses his 4th in a row. Joe Burrow, 22. Jamar Chase, 20.5. And Austin Eckler, 14. Nothing much else to say, as Andy is now the lowest scoring team in the league. Oh, maybe. You know what? I know what's going to happen. Andy's going to get reaped. Because why? Why shouldn't he? He's 4 and 6. He's lost 4 in a row. All hope seems to be lost. Meanwhile, someone like me, who continues to struggle, who continues to just dive deeper into the abyss of insanity. Oh no, I'm left to float in a breeze like laundry on a line. Well, let me tell you what, that breeze is going to turn into a storm. And Reaper, the storm, is coming. All right, on now to the other game. Make Cramerica great again at 5 and 4, taking on the lowly Pack Attack at 1 and 8. But lowly no more. 94.5 to Sid's 87. Sid now is at 500 after making all these trades, playing all sorts of wild games, I think, with himself. And if anyone can talk about having things going on upstairs that maybe just don't make sense, I think I could relate. If you're Eric, Greg Zerline and Josh Allen both had 16 points. Najee Harris, 13.5. Baltimore's defense, 13. Tyler Algier. A Tyler Algier sighting. Wow, you know you're scraping the bottom of the barrel when Algier's in your starting lineup. 2.5 points for him. Maybe the 2.5 points, well, he won by more than that. But still, if you're Sid, Jared Goff, 18. David Montgomery, who might see, granted, 75-yard touch. That's right. David Montgomery had most of his points on one play. Jamal Williams, not Jamal Williams. That's not Jamal Williams. Someone named Jay Williams had 14. Garrett Wilson, 10.5. Deebo Samuel had 10 points. Ramondre Stevenson, who seems to be warming up, but not quite fast enough, 7.5 points for him. Boy, I really don't know who Jay Williams is. And you know what? At this point, I'm too excited to care because I have one more game to go. And then, it's going to happen. Last game of the week, the Southbound Pachyderms coming in at 5 and 4, taking on, yours truly, the Hulkamaniac, coming off a win last week at 2 and 7. Now, my team played well again this week, but what did I run up against? I'll tell you. I ran up against someone else who had said they quit. Someone else who had said their season was over. And let me tell you, as we all know, for anyone not named me, that's the magic ticket to Fantasy Winland. Yay! Look at me. All I have to do is say I quit. I've said I quit several times. And Reaper, you coward, you have continued to just duck, dive, dodge, dip, duck, and dive. I think I threw an extra one in there. But I think you catch my drift. The dodging stops tonight. Pure Swart. Sam Howell had 32 points. CeeDee Lamb, 27.5. Kenneth Walker III, 18.5, 14 of those on one play. Mike Evans, 17. Alvin Kamara, 11.5. Dalton Kincaid, 10.5. No one was below 6. And, of course, quitting works again. Yay! Hulkamaniacs, Jordan Love had 20 points. Jahmyr Gibbs, 19.5, making his case for a keeper. And let's be honest, who do I have left to keep? But, boy, I am excited about that, man. Hopkins and Cleveland's defense both tacked on 15. Tank Dell, 13 points. Could he be a surprise keeper? Only time will tell. Jaden Reed, speaking of keepers, a rookie keeper. That kid can play football, 16.5 points for him. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up with the stud, dud, and the decent and get on to the games for next week. And then the real party's going to start. All right, so this week's...
Now, on to this week's games. The 5-5 Cramerica Industries, trying to stay alive in the playoff hunt, take on the Radioactive Monkeys in a challenging matchup. Although Kramerica did beat the Radioactive Monkeys earlier this year. Dickweed at 8-2, looking to maintain its dominance against the Mixing Cocktails at 4-6, looking to stay alive in the playoff hunt. The Southbound Pachyderms at 6-4, with renewed vengeance, taking on the Pack Attack, who is looking to stay away from paying for pizza this year. Mana Mana at 6-4, who look like they can't be stopped after declaring dead, takes on the 2-6 Hulkamaniacs again, vying to not pay for pizza for everybody. The Architects at 4-6, who've been cursed by the Hulkamaniacs' vote of confidence, taking on the Van Hella Vandals this week at 5-5, who are storming up once Left for Dead, now looking like a playoff team. Good luck this week, everybody. And now we finish up with the studs and the duds. Keenan Allen at 31.5 points is in running. CeeDee Lamb also 27.5 points in the running. But this week's stud, Greg Zuerlein, a damn kicker, and with 16 points in a game that mattered for the Kramerica Industries, took them down. Duds this week, Mark Andrews, dominating tight end so far this year, only 3 points. Oh man, let you down in the playoff run. Well, what do you do? Good luck to everybody this week. Peace!
Well, and that wraps up this week's episode, which means, my friends, the games are all over. And the real fun is about to begin. I've told you, Reaper, I've begged, I've pleaded. I thought I was being nice about things, but clearly the message wasn't getting through. And I thought I had you last week, but clearly I didn't. But now, it's on. And I'm coming.
Welcome to the Fantasy Graveyard. Now we will see whose fate has been sealed this week. Once a sturdy power, now can be toppled over with a slight breeze. Come now to the Fantasy Graveyard. Welcome to the graveyard. Who will it be? Yes, Brett's vote of confidence is a vote of no confidence. DJ Moore bust. I think bust. Oh, I feel it. Oh, you better stick to Legos. I think I know who it is. Yes. Oh, another two-time champ. What a coincidence. Oh, we're almost there. Yes. VR. Huh? What are you doing? Are you doing? Are you doing?
Oh, I think we need to have a little chat.